Started. All right, hey everybody, Greg Cazillo, Cazillo.com. A couple questions are already coming up here. I see. Got any fun shoots coming up? Next weekend and the following weekend, I'm actually shooting a couple of horse shows. They're actually small local shows, but I make a decent amount of money on them. So why not? I'll shoot anything like that because that's what I do. As I shoot to get paid, and make money. So that's the goal. Um, I had a couple of other questions. One on Twitter, and then another one from the last show. What happened to the Twitter one here? Question was from Twitter, from MBN Mac. Might not be able to make the live check, but opinions on diffusers for speed lights, liking the Gary Fong Cloud I have. Thoughts? Well, the problem with diffusers in general, at least I believe, is, or at least those kind of just put on diffusers and that's it, is that you use them as a crutch, and that's just not the way that you should be using them. Um, Gary Fong and other companies have done great jobs of marketing, but I think that you need to be, getting your flash off of the camera and doing other stuff with it instead of just putting the flash on camera and then putting some kind of a dome or diffuser or something on it, and that's it. You can't be creative that way when your flash is only coming directly from the camera angle and going straight on into their face. You just can't be creative that way. You can't change it up. You can't switch things. Maybe you can adjust the amount of power up and down a little bit, but that's really about it. So I'm just not a fan of those. Any other questions? Keep a couple questions coming here, guys, in the chat room or in the social stream. So another question from last time was, can you talk about which eye, left or right, that I shoot with? I actually shoot with my left eye. I don't know why I shoot with my left eye. I'm right-handed. I shoot, when I'm out hunting. I actually shoot with my other eye, with my right eye, with a gun, and I don't know why. I just do. It's become comfortable to me, and that's just the way I shoot. So, yeah, that's it. So, what questions do you guys have here in the chat? Chat questions. Hello? Are you still there? Is everyone still there? It says that I'm still broadcasting, but I'm not getting any questions. Sorry guys, still not seeing any questions here for some reason. Oh, come on. What are you doing here then? You gotta have some. This isn't gonna be a very long session if there's nobody asking any questions. Alright, let me check Twitter and Facebook here to see if there were any posted on there. No, nothing on Facebook. Nope. Well, guys, if there's no questions, I don't know that I'm going to stick around very long here. I think I might just log off if we can't get anything going. Last time we had a good one, but I guess everybody's out and not around because we only have a couple people here on the chat. I'll give it another minute and then we'll take off. If it's not going to happen today, everybody must be out having fun. By the way, I will have a big announcement coming up later on this month, so make sure that you sign up for the email newsletter, guys. I have a contest and an announcement coming, and a really nice product coming up that I think you guys are gonna like. And so make sure that you check that out. Sign up for the email list. Mac versus PC. I think I've done that 100 times. I'm a PC guy. I would rather spend my money on equipment rather than $5 grand on a Mac. Tamron 7200, never really had any experience with Tamron lenses. I've always just preferred the Sigmas and the the Nikons. You know, they're been my primary ones, and of course the Canon lenses are good. But I've always stuck with the Sigmas as far as a third party lens is concerned. Well, seems like it is not as popular today, guys. So we might be signing off. I don't shoot Canon, so I can't tell you about any Canon lenses. Unfortunately, I shoot Nikon. I know that I would love to have one of the 135 DC lenses from Nikon. I've always wanted one of those, just haven't picked one up yet. Let's see, is that some Facebook questions? What's going on there? Can I hook up Pocket Wizards to Alien B flash heads? Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. Somebody just asked that question via my website, and I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do that. In fact, I have used Pocket Wizards with my White Lightning strobes in the past, so I don't know why you wouldn't be able to do it with an Alien B. Let's see. Question about Lightroom from Facebook. When Greg, I've been learning Lightroom. When I smooth skin, it seems a little too pink. Is there a fix? Well, the first thing that I would check on that is what is your white balance? Is your white balance off in the file? Start out there, adjust your white balance properly, whether it's up or down, or get it off or a little bit, or maybe use a gray card or do something with it to make sure that your white balance is perfect, and then adjust from there. That'd be the first thing that I would do. If it's still a little off, you can always lower the saturation just a hair in the brush, and so that might help it a little bit. Nikon 35-1.8 or 50-1.8. Don't really have a preference. I'm not a big proponent or a big shooter of fixed lenses, or except for an 85-1.4. Most likely, are you going to use the lenses for portraits? If so, neither one of those lenses are good for portraits. They're too wide. You need to have at least a 70mm lens for a good portrait in order to get proper compression of the face, especially in a tighter headshot, and to make it look normal. You have a D40 and an SB600. You are going to have to buy a SB900 or SB700 in order to get that off camera. You'll be able to use your 600 as the off camera flash, and then the 700 or 900 on the camera, and then you'll be able to shoot that way. But I don't think the D40 has any built-in commander mode. In fact, I'm really sure of that it doesn't have a commander mode. So yeah, that's it. HDR, that's actually a good question. I haven't seen any well done HDR photos in a long time, except I was just out in Las Vegas, and I was at the Peter Lick Gallery. I forget which hotel that was in. Anyway, he had one photo that was very, very well done in HDR, and it was a scene of the Grand Canyon. Amazing photo, looked really, really good. It was definitely HDR. It was a little bit too oversaturated for me, but it was still an awesome photo. It could have been the lighting, it could have been the paper that he had printed on, something like that. It was just a little bit too over, just for my taste. Doesn't mean it's not good for other people, but it was a very well done HDR. I think people overuse it. I think people use it as a crutch. Instead of knowing their zone system or knowing how to expose properly, I think they just use HDR as a crutch. Just like the Gary Fong domes or anything like that. People use it as a crutch instead of actually learning how to do things properly, learning how to expose properly, and get shoot for the highlights, expose for, or shoot for the highlights, and then print for the shadows. Instead of doing all that the right way, they just go to HDR because it's easier and it's in front of a computer. So personally, I'd rather see you do it right most of the time rather than going with the HDR stuff. The X-Ray Color Checker Passport, I haven't used one, but I'm sure they're very good. I have the big. I think I did a video a while ago, back with the old site, with my full size color checker chart, and it's a great chart. I use it all the time, especially for studio photos, any kind of studio portrait, anything like that, anything outdoor or weddings or anything like that. I never use a gray card. I never white balance. I just adjust it later in post, shoot in the camera in auto, and then adjust it a little bit in post. But the nice thing about those, the smaller ones, is you can make them incrementally warmer just a little bit, or a little bit cooler with just some of those little patches that are on there. And so eventually, I'm going to grab one of those and test it out, and I'll let you know how that goes. I'll do a video on that definitely coming up. Uh, let's see. Somebody else commented. How important is calibrating your monitor, and what do I use? Where is mine? There it is. Down here is where my tower is, up underneath the desk. That's why I was reaching under there. And in my nice little Harley Davidson glasses bag is my Greytag Macbeth Pantone. I think this is the version 2. Oh, I1. It's the I1. Okay. This is what I use to calibrate my monitor. And to answer your question, if you want accurate color, yes, you need to be calibrating your monitors. You can get one of these for like 150 bucks. They're not expensive at all. And a lot of people will ask me, what are you going to do with your, you have a couple $100 to spend. I want to buy a lens. Well, a $200 lens is going to be a piece of junk. So you're better off buying one of these and be able to get better color and more accurate color. I calibrate my monitors all the time. Every time I come in and I sit down and I'm going to edit pictures, or if the time of day changed, or if it's evening versus morning, or if I have the light on in here, or whatever it is, the light is going to change. The light falling on the monitors is going to change. So having these is really important. Like I said, I have 3 monitors here in front of me. One over here, one here, and calibrate all 3 of them. Even though I mainly use these 2 for color, the 2 big ones for my main color, I still do the 3rd one just so that they're accurate and so they look good. But yeah, it is really important in my mind. Yes, it does work on a laptop. It is still considered to be an LCD monitor. So LCD, oh yeah, still an LCD monitor on a laptop. So yeah, it's the same thing. You can still do it with the same device, and you can use that. If you have a desktop and you have a laptop computer, you can use that same device, whatever brand you buy, whether it's one of the, one like this one, or I think there's a couple of the brands like a Spiders are really good. Those are kind of the top 2, the Pantones and the Spiders. But you can use it on every device that you have. Just load the software and you're done. Any other questions here, guys? I think that's all we've had. Let me check Twitter. Storage. That's an interesting question. I am... There's another question on Twitter. Good. I am about to actually do a full video on storage. I have a device that's coming in, and I'm going to test it out and let you guys know how it works out. Basically, I prefer to use a RAID for my primary drive so that it's faster, the primary storage location so that it's faster access to the files. But then for secondary backups or archive copies, I prefer to have completely separate drives, because to me, if I want to have I could set up a secondary RAID and have a primary RAID and then a secondary RAID. And if you don't know what a RAID is, basically it's an array of disks. It's a number of disks that span the data over multiple disks, typically for either speed or redundancy. Now, the problem with it is, to me anyway, as far as my photo archive is concerned, is that I don't want to have to rebuild that RAID if say my server completely goes down. Okay? I don't want to have to rebuild that RAID on another computer or have any other issues if I don't have to. I just, if it goes down, I want to be able to just plug in a drive into any case that I have, or any device that I have, or maybe just plug it right into the computer and be able to access those photos and know that I have multiple copies that are secure. But if I'm using a RAID, or if I'm using a RAID device, such as a Drobo, or whatever the device may be, if I do that, then I might have an issue where I'll have to buy another one of those devices, or maybe maybe that device is 2 years old and they don't support it anymore, and I can't rebuild that RAID. If I can't rebuild that RAID, that means I can't get the data off of it, or I'd have to send it out and have some really expensive recovery done. That's the last thing that I want to be doing. So I prefer to just use, if I do have a RAID device, I think this is the right way to say it, is JBOD, which is just a bunch of disks. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Basically, I like to have individual disks if you have a RAID device, and so I am going to be talking about that more in the future. I'm actually working on a video for that. As soon as my device comes in, I do a little bit of testing. I'll let you know how it goes. How can you improve on street photography? Not drawing attention with big camera that screams I'm a photographer. I don't know. I can't tell you, because I personally don't have a problem walking around with my big camera. Obviously, I'm a big guy, so it's not really a big deal. The only thing I can say is, if you're worried, take somebody with you, so that there's a couple of people with you, and don't get into the bad neighborhoods. That's all I can say. Keep shooting, but take somebody with you if you're worried. That's what I would say. Polarizing ND filters negatively affect image quality, sharpness, contrast, etc. Yes, they definitely do, but you have to weigh the good versus the bad. I personally don't use any kind of a UV filter or anything like that, or any kind of a protective filter on the front of my lenses. But when I need it, I will use a polarizer or a neutral density. Now, the good is outweighing the bad in that case. Sometimes it's just too bright of a scene for the way that I want to shoot, and that means I have to use a neutral density. Or sometimes I need a polarizer because I want to cut down on the amount of light coming, or not coming down. I want to cut down on a glare on something, or whatever it may be, or I want a nicer sky, or whatever it is. So you don't have a choice in that case. Photography is all about compromises. It's either one thing or it's another. So it's a compromise. Now, the way to make it better is to buy the best quality ones that you can buy. If you spend less than $100 or $150 on a filter, then it's a piece of crap, and you should just throw it in the trash, or you should have just thrown your hard-earned money right in the trash, because it's a piece of junk. So buy a decent filter, a B&W filter, some other good ones that are, over 100 or 150 bucks and higher. Sometimes they get up to 200, 250. You're better off. So it's a better quality. Back to the storage. What about RAID 0 or RAID 1? Same thing. You guys still have to rebuild the RAID if there's an issue. And that's the problem. I don't want to have to worry about rebuilding a RAID. If I need to get to something, I need to get to it. So I have my RAID on my primary workstation, but then my backups that are over in my server are just individual disks that I copy from one to the next in order to make sure that everything is redundant and I have multiple copies. That's only for my archives, not for my working drives in my primary workstation, which is actually the computer that I'm on right now. Flash bracket recommendation. I have like 3 of the Bogen flash brackets. I haven't used that thing in, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years. I've just been on this kick of getting the flash off camera, and it's so much more creative and it looks so much better. Personally, I'd rather see you save your money, don't buy a flash bracket at all, and buy yourself a stand and a small kit from that video that I did a couple of weeks ago that tells you how to, let's see if I can pull it up here for you as I'm talking. It was a good video. It actually showed the kit. Studio Lighting Basics video. Here, I will link you to it here. Gotta turn links mode back on. There you go. if you look into that article about, let's see, about halfway, three-quarters of the way down, there's a thing that says this is a kit in itself. Just add your strobe for portable lighting in any situation. I use it all the time. That is a stand, a bracket, a softbox, and the ring for the softbox all in one. And all you have to add is your flash and a way to trigger it, obviously. So depending upon what flash you have, you might need another way to trigger it. If you're using the newer Canon off-camera system, or if you're using a Nikon CLS system, you don't have to worry about it. You already have it, and it's built in. But that's the way to go for, I'd rather see you invest in that kit. It's like $150 or $140, something like that. And you're there, you have a good basic kit rather than a bracket that's really is only giving you proper lighting for vertical shots. I don't know. I've stopped it almost altogether. I don't care anymore as far as vertical, horizontal. That little shadow off to the side, really doesn't bother me anymore. So I stick with it this way. Any thoughts on the Nikon rumors about new cameras? Yeah, I can't wait. My D3, I need to take pictures of my D3 so that I can put it up for sale immediately when the D4 comes out. Because I'm going to buy, I have a D3 and a D3S right now. I'm going to sell the D3, and then I'll have a D3 and a D3S and a D4. I guess it's going to be called a D4. I don't know. But yeah, I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait. Let's see. Did I miss any other questions in here, guys? I don't think so. I think I got everybody's questions. Any last minute ones, or I'm gonna sign off here, since we're not as busy today as we were last time. Hey, no problem. Thank you guys. I appreciate you being there. For the people that just come in lately here, I have a very special announcement coming up soon. I have a really cool product for everybody. What's something about my webcam? I'll check it in a second. A really cool product coming up for everybody to check out. So make sure you sign up for my email list right at the top of the website, and you'll get notified of that right away. Actually, let me ask that a question. Has everybody been getting the email that's already on the list? Am I emailing too often? Anybody? Any problems? I think I've only sent one or two emails to the entire list, and then every article I do send out another email. So, good amount of emails. Okay. Have you, Vinny? Have you signed up, or which one did you sign up for? Webcam sharpness. Let me go back to that. Where should you sign up? At the top of the website. It just, you go to Cazillo.com, and right at the top it says sign up, choose your subscriptions, Cazillo newsletter, new posts, name, email, subscribe, and then make sure that you go in there and then verify that once you're in. So, good. Glad you guys like it. I'm not sitting here trying to spam you guys. That's the last thing that I want to do. Send a ton of emails. When I put up an article, that's why I offer two of them. If you just want the major one where I send it out and that's it, great. But if you want to hear from me for every single post, some people, not everybody uses Google Plus, or thank you. Good. I'm glad you like my post on Google Plus. That's why I mentioned that. Or maybe not everybody uses Facebook or Twitter or whatever it may be, and or maybe they're too busy, but they really want to hear from me. So that's why I have that every single post thing put up there. I'm not sure what the sharpness is off. I'm guessing, I don't know. I don't see any problems here on my small little monitor that's displayed from Ustream. Not sure. Not sure. Keep posting on Google Plus. Yeah, I will. I haven't figured out how I want to separate my content, or if I want to separate my content. Pretty much a lot of the same stuff goes up on Twitter and on Facebook, and it's just tough for me to have separate content or separate stuff. So sometimes I'll kind of link to one photo on one place and not a photo on another place. Something that I'm sharing around the web, like National Geographic or photo of the day or something like that that I'll put up that I find around the web. Sometimes I'll put it up in one place and not in another, but that's pretty much it. Um, Photo details, I don't know anything about that. Um, let's see. You can. Looks like you guys are just chatting. Okay. Well, I think if there's no other questions, guys, I think I'm gonna run here. All right. Any more of the last questions? No. Got a thanks. Thank you guys. Any more? Any more? Don't forget to share my stuff with your friends, guys. If you know anybody, if you happen to be on any forums or anywhere, if one of my videos could help somebody, I'd love it if you would share my information with someone else, or get them to like my Facebook page, or add me on Google Plus, or on Twitter, or even on LinkedIn, wherever. I'd love to hear from you guys, and please share my content around. I do appreciate that. Shooting an art gallery event. That's just sounds like it's just grip and grin kind of stuff. In other words, people, hey, get together, let me take a picture of all the group. And so that's probably all you're going to be able to do. If you're shooting a Nikon, I'd suggest using the balanced lighting setting. In other words, you'll get a good ambient light setting, turn on the flash, and then you'll get a little bit of the backlight, a little bit of the room ambient light in the shot, as well as the flash, so that you have a decent exposure in the foreground and background, so you don't have a black background. You might want to show some of that art in the background. That'd probably be about my only suggestion. Maybe some little bit tighter photos of people looking at art or something like that, or maybe some wider shots of people wandering around. That's about it. So, all right, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. See you next time.